Hello everybody, my name is Valeria Fedchenko and I'm from group 733L. The topic of my coursework is features of the use and translation of feminitives in English and Ukrainian languages, and my coursework is based on the examples of technical and scientific texts. The relevance of the topic is reflected in emphasizing the importance of women in society through language and speech, and also in emphasizing the important visibility of women in society and especially in the professional life. The novelty of the topic is shown in the analysis of frequency and expendency of using feminitives and gender-neutral words, especially in scientific, journalistic, and technical works. The object of my coursework are scientific and technical works, and especially documents like applications, reports, court orders, and so on. And the subject of the topic are feminitives and their analogues, for example, gender-neutral words. The main aim of my research is to analyze the usage of feminitives, how are they created in English and Ukrainian, and also how people use gender-neutral language. The following tasks were set to achieve the goal: to analyze the creation and origin of feminitives and analogues in both languages, to investigate the peculiarities of the use of feminitives and analogues in various spheres, also to highlight the main problems of the usage and creation of feminitives and their analogues that scientists can face. To begin with, a branch of linguistics that studies the role and function of gender and also feminitives, masculinitives, and so on in different parts of speech is called gender linguistics. And gender linguistics is also highly connected to the cultural linguistics, because gender linguistics is about grammar, gender of a word, what role gender plays in language, and also features of communication among men and women. Gender itself has many different meanings, but for us the most important is mental sex. We all know that people have biological sex, but also some people do have another feeling of the sex in their minds. For example, some person can be born man but feel to be women. It's important to know the gender of the person you refer to, as because of gender you can understand what name can you use towards the person. Names can be feminitives. Feminitives are words of the feminine gender denoting profession, job, specialization, etc. Their analogues are masculinitives. They are male gender denoting profession, job, and etc. Also, people tend to use gender-neutral names in some languages due to be more polite towards the person they refer to. You can see examples of masculinitives and feminitives in Ukrainian. For example, designer, designерка, засновник, засновниця. Also, you can see recommended names of profession and functions that are gender-neutral. For example, we all knew stewardess and steward, but it's better to use flight attendant. English language has a very interesting thing. Each noun in English doesn't have its own grammatical gender. That's why the English language is better to go naturalization. Naturalization is a way to use more gender-neutral names in the language due to be more polite to other people. You see, because English words don't have their grammatical genders, in English it's not so polite to use feminitives to women, because feminative suffixes in English don't mean the work was done by women. They mean the work was done by women, but not that well that it would be done by men. That's why it's better to use gender-neutral language when you speak English. However, they still have feminitives in English. That's why two most popular ways of creation of feminitives in English are feminative phrases with such words as lady, woman, female, for example, female airman, woman doctor, lady lawyer, and also they have feminative suffixes. The most popular, the most productive feminative suffix is s, actress, duchess, waitress, stewardess. Then it's ette, it's a French suffix that is usually used the words that are originally French, brunette, suffragette, laundrette. Enne, comédienne, tragedienne. Woman, businesswoman, sportswoman. Iene, heroine. And also Latin suffix trix or rix, aviatrix. It's better to use gender-neutral language in English because it's more polite and tolerant way. Some authoritative organizations such as the European Parliament, UN, UNESCO and so on have published works that have guidance in them how to speak more gender neutrally. In Ukraine, the situation is kind of different because Ukrainian words have their own grammatical genders, and it helps us to create new feminitives to use the old ones and so on. That's why it's better to use feminization in Ukrainian. As you may see, we do have documents that denote feminative were used pretty early, for example in 1568, and now more and more people are interested in using feminitives in Ukrainian. Ways of creation of feminitives in Ukrainian are suffixes, inflection, changing of grammar gender, ending of some adjectives, and also feminative phrases with pani or zhinka. The most popular Ukrainian feminative suffixes are suffix ka, architectorka, directorka, suffix in, мовчиня, філологиня, and so on, and suffix ic, достойниця, переможеця. Suffix s is used rarely. Results of the research showed us that words with suffix ka are the most popular, as well as words with suffix ic and in, and people don't tend to use words with suffix s and also feminative phrases. That's why scientists willingly use old female names. The male authors are more likely to create new feminative forms as well as to use old ones, and also feminitives are often found in text only about women. Results of the research of English texts showed that gender-neutral names are used almost as often as feminitives, and the most productive suffix is s, and also people like to use feminative phrases. That's why the authors prefer feminative phrases with the words woman and female. Gender-neutral names are becoming more popular than gender-defined names, and also new feminitives are easier created in Ukrainian than in English. According to the researchers with translation of the feminitives, when interpreters translate from English into Ukrainian, they tend to use feminitives in Ukrainian. For example, a Mexican painter, мексиканська художниця. But interpreters don't tend to translate feminitives like feminitives when they translate from Ukrainian into English, and they use feminitives only in case when it's important to outline that the person is female. For example, жінки-селянки, village women, жінка-лікарка, female doctor, but письменниця, a writer, not a writeress. So, generally speaking, the Ukrainian language has all the reasons for the existence and creation of new feminine form. In Ukrainian, feminitives are widely used in fiction and non-fiction literature. The English language does not have such reliable reasons for creating new feminitives as the Ukrainian language does, and also a polite way to address and mention some person in English is to use gender-neutral words. Thanks for your attention.